Monday, episode 152. Gotta be kidding me. Evening hour live right now. Yeah. Come on in. Cheers. That's good. You like my jump edit? What's up, people? It's Monday. Come on in. All right. I see people coming in. Ah, Lorkin. What's up, brother? The Satanic Show. Check out his page. Come on in. What's up? It's Monday. Let me get situated here. I didn't have my title card ready. Go figure. I think that's happened in 152 episodes twice. I'm going to turn this down. Hi, everybody. Come on in. My voice is a little weak. I had a busy weekend of shows. There's a cough going around. Who knows what it is? Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me. Wow, we got a big crew in here already. Camillo, Lorkin, Melissa, Achilles, Jason. Who else is in here? Hatham, Eric, Charlemagne. What's up, buddy? Angela, Melissa, Bill Yawn in the house. Jason. What's up? Cheers. Come on in, everybody. We're gonna tonight's a good one. If you're just getting in here, tonight's gonna be good. If you're new, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you're new, you also need to know it's chatty. Look at the chat. If you're watching live, you can probably see it below. If you're watching tomorrow, make sure you put the chat on and see what people are saying, because there's a lot of good stuff in there. I'm not kidding. If you're not watching it live, come watch it live. I've been doing them pretty much every Monday now, consistently. I do take some breaks, but yeah, we've been running these a lot. So come on in. All right, what do we got in here? Come on in, come on in. Yay. All right, I have some news. Let's get that going. So I'm going to show you, where the heck is it? So my web store, Wacky Mart, is live. And when I say live, it's up. Some of it's not functioning, like, thank you, Jason. The desktop version is not done. The iPhone version is done. So, and the link is below. If you look in the description below, that is where that is. Mama's watching. Cheers, Mama. So, Wacky Mart is up and running. I have a few items. Not a lot, but there's a few. I'm going to keep adding to it slowly. And who just jumped in? Blizz Zafon. Bill Yon says, "You're slacking." Yes, I am. I'm a professional adult slacker. Yeah. So Wacky Mart's up and running. Stay tuned. Follow my Instagram, Cardone Magic. I will be posting when I'm going to be putting some one-of-a-kind items up. Kind of cool stuff. I'm going to be posting a few items that also come with an experience. Meaning if you buy it, you also get a Zoom of me explaining it. Right? I'm going to do some of those too. So keep your eyes open. What else? We lost a rock and roll legend yesterday. Geordie Walker from Killing Joke died yesterday. He had a stroke and he croaked. So I pour the last bit of this non-alcoholic Guinness Zero and I raise a glass to Geordie Walker. I've been listening to him all day today. Cheers, Geordie. You made a lot of people happy and you will live on through your music. Immortality is real in the arts. Bruja, Florida. Come on in. What's up? Yeah, so the other person that died 2 days ago was Marty Krofft of Sid and Marty Krofft. The people that produced all the shows that shaped my childhood. Live action television. They did TV specials. They have a huge, huge list of shows that were on. If you look at my old episodes, I interviewed an actor from one of the shows that shaped my childhood, Philip Paley, also known as Chaka from Land of the Lost. He was telling me stories about Marty and Sid Krofft, and Marty was the businessman. Krofft was, Sid was the artist. And Marty, I think, was like the crack the whip type of businessman. But he's responsible for taking a puppeteer, his brother, and making this empire of children's entertainment. So, yay. Hello, Bruja, Florida. Oh, you can't stay. Well, cheers. Thank you for stopping in. That means a lot. And watch this episode. It's going to be juicy. Yeah, this is a good one. It's a subject that I never hear anybody discussing, which is weird. What else? Short film review. I'm going to jump into the subject early tonight because I think it's a heavy, good one. I got to see Thanksgiving by Eli Roth, the horror film, which started as a fake trailer in the Tarantino film. I will say that Thanksgiving by Eli Roth was pretty good. Ooh, what's this? I think it was a good second season of Goliath on Amazon. It had a weird subplot involving Puffin stuff. Oh, cool. I really did. I did like Thanksgiving. Is it fine art? No. It is not Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 is a fine art for horror. I will say that. That's my opinion. I really like the Terrifier stuff. Eli Roth's movie cost $15 million. Terrifier 2 cost $200,000. Onyx the Fortuitous cost $700,000. Thanksgiving cost $15 million. What was it spent on? Lighting? I mean, the lighting was good, but it's a lot of money. They don't need that much money. So, what makes a horror film good? Asks Charlemagne, my favorite question guy. For me, if I want to see it again, it means something good was in it. Like, a lot of movies, I see them, I'm like, that was cool. I'll never see it again, but it was okay. If I'm like, no, I want to see that again. Usually it means that there's something to grab on. There is a layer of sorts that is surprising, new, a new take on... Like, the reason why I think Terrifier 2 is good is it gave a charge to the genre that was missing, which was, it was actually gross, it actually had scary moments, and it was made low budget with good problem solving. So you got to see this guy being creative with a low budget. That's what I like. Oh yeah, that's not even counting the promote. You're right. Yeah, you're right. They do spend a lot of money on the promotion. Melissa says, excited for Terrifier 3. Me too. Yeah, when it hits you on a personal subject level. Yeah. I'll say that too. If it hits a nerve. I mean, dude, Hereditary, really, not only well made, there was a few moments that really gave me chills down my spine. There were also moments that made me, like, want to applaud, so. I like something meaty. No, right, I don't like CG. CG pulls me out of the story. Lorcan from the Satanic Show says he likes how busy my room is. The whole house is like this. That's what's kind of nuts. Pretty much every room looks like this. Not kidding. Every room. Yeah, even the kitchen. I'm glad you enjoy it. I mean, I like it. I can't live any other way. If I don't feel like I'm in my environment, I can't. My creative, it's a great thing. This room makes me bounce my creative stuff back and forth. I bounce it off the walls. It comes back. Okay, before I move on, the best horror film from the last decade, I will pick a couple. I would put Hereditary, the new Suspiria, the remake. I do like it a lot. And Terrifier 2. Those are the first three that come to my mind. Maybe, when did Martyrs come out? When's Martyrs? What year? 2011? 12? 13? I don't know. Martyrs. Excellent. Not the remake. What else? Very important. I have to talk about a couple subjects tonight where I'm going to use different words because YouTube censors dependent on the words you're using. It's unfortunate that we have to dance around things now because the robots don't like certain subjects. They could be because the advertisers don't like it. It also could be because the government doesn't like it and pays YouTube to remove things. Okay? So whatever it is, I don't care. I don't like any of it. Okay? If you watch the show, you know I'm a free speech absolutist. So, unfortunately, if I say the S word, does anybody know what the S word is now? The S word is taking yourself out. Okay? If you talk about it, you get flagged. And it's kind of lame. In my life, and I've told people this before, I never ever thought about taking my own essence, the S word. Never. No way. I'm not that guy. Even at my lowest, that's the last option. But I will say, through my experience, through reading, through thinking, through a lot of reading, a lot of essay writing, I have a completely different view on the S word now. Okay? So, you know, we've all lost people to it. I've had friends that have done it. I'm sure you have too. Could be family members. I have a completely different take on it. I have a different respect for it than I did before. And I don't look at it as dark or as sad as I used to. It doesn't mean that it doesn't always can be very sad, but there is a positive version of it, I will say. And I've given myself permission to unlive myself. There it is. So I've given myself permission. If you need to, that's an option. And it's a noble one. So that's part of one of the subjects tonight. And I just wanted to say it. So if you're watching this and you're like, why is he dancing around words? I'm going to be doing it a lot. There's a lot of words that if you say it, the robots listening, and they are robots listening, will zone in and they'll either shadow ban you, meaning you can't find the video, or they'll actually give you a mark. I mean, you don't know. I don't know if you know this, but when you do something bad on YouTube, or Instagram or all of these things, they don't tell you what you did exactly. They want you to admit it and then pull the content without them actually accusing you of it. If you think about it, it's proof that it's a scam because it's like punishing a child. Imagine slapping your kid for doing something and then when he's crying saying, I don't know what I did wrong, you're like, figure it out, whack, figure it out, whack, and you just keep doing it. It's terrible. So, hello, Malcolm. Come on in. So, yeah, I'm going to be dancing around some words, unfortunately. Let me think. Is there anything else before I jump into subject tonight? In time. I basically just gave a speech on how I'm not going to be able to use the S word. S word referring to taking yourself out. Wait, I want to show you where's my, I was going to show you the poster. Tonight's episode is called Body Autonomy Can of Worms. So, sit back, pour a drink. If you're a pothead, get that ready. Whatever you want to do to relax. We're having a chat. If you have something to say, you can type it in the bottom. We're asking questions. I don't have a lot of answers, but I do have a lot of questions. And one of the reasons why tonight's subject, I wanted to do it, is not only have I been thinking about it a lot for many years, I don't see anybody discussing it on the level I'm about to discuss it on, ever, ever, ever. And this morning, I woke up and did a Google search to see kind of the first things that popped up when I put in body autonomy. And a lot of the things I'm going to talk about tonight, I don't see anybody compiling them together. I think they do need to be pulled together so that each component can kind of look at each other. So, for instance, let's start. Body autonomy. What does it mean? Please, if you all have different definitions, we're going to see a whole bunch below. I'm very curious. Oh yes, Bill Yon says it here. It's ridiculous that the S word is on the verboten list. It reinforces the stigma of not talking about it. You can use that for all of it. You know, it's something, it's terrible. Anyway, so, body autonomy. I remember very clear listening to two different groups, the left-leaning people and the right-leaning people. In one parade, my body, my right. On the other parade, completely different scenario, my body, my right. Same thing. And it was crazy because I'm like, well, does everybody know they're actually arguing for the exact same thing? Which is body autonomy. And now I want to go over what I think are the 5 or 6 things that fall under that, and then go through each one and look at it with a little bit of a microscope and what it means. And I really think this is a juicy one. So let's start first with what I think is a big one with body autonomy, and that is circumcision. Okay? When my son was born, the doctor came in the room and said, okay, we have to say this by law. There is no scientific evidence this is good for you. Do you want to do it? It's not good. And I was like, no, why would I do that? Okay? People arguing to control somebody else's body are not about it. Wait, you got to write that. People arguing to control somebody else's body are not about autonomy. Yeah, I kind of don't get that for a second. Wait, hold on. There's going to be a lot of chatting in here. Okay, here we go. Oh, this is going to be good. All right, here we go. So, circumcision. Now, we all know, like, the female version, we don't see, but we see the male version because it actually says in the Old Testament, in the Torah, that if you don't cut up the tip of your dick off, you can't be Jewish. You're not a Jew. It says it. It clearly says it. It doesn't even sort of say it. It says it very straight up. Sounds like a gang initiation to me, but whatever it is, it says it very clearly. I once saw a really good debate between Hitchens and a rabbi. And Hitchens made a reference to circumcision being genital mutilation. You know, it's this, right? And the rabbi, being a good rabbi, knows how to use humor, makes a joke. Oh, my son cried more at his first haircut than his bris. And the audience laughed. And when the audience laughed at the rabbi's joke, Hitchens, being very smart, smarter than the rabbi, says, wow, you see how the audience is laughing at this joke? If I would have said, wow, my daughter cried more when they cut off her clitoris than when she cried more at her haircut than when they cut off her clitoris, no one would laugh. And the audience was dead silent. Totally, to me, the same thing. It's insane. Okay. So, circumcision. Number one. Abortion, right? Clearly, body autonomy. It's your body. You get to do what you want, right? Suicide. Oh, I said it. It's just hard to not say it. The S word. That's 3. So this one's, it's a lot in here. But trans rights for adults, right? If you want to alter your body however you so desire for whatever you want, you're allowed to, right? That would be a body autonomy, right? I will put body modification with that. Tattoos. You can do whatever you want. If I feel really upset that I have thumbs, if I want to remove them, I can under a body autonomy situation. Here's one that's different than body modification. Own category, self-harm. It's not the S word. It's not modifying. It's not that at all. It's, are babies drunk during? No, they don't give them boot. Do they? The parents pay them oil and he gets to keep the tip. Yeah, that's good. But self-harm. If I'm like, look, I'm nuts and I want to cut myself, it makes me feel better. That would be body autonomy. And then the big one, medicine. The government mandated medicine. Here you go. You have to take the shot. It's by law. You have to. And if you don't, we're breaking your door down and sticking it in your butt. For the betterment of the society, we're forcing you to do things to your body, right? So we've got the S word, circumcision, abortion, trans rights, body modification, like whatever that is, I kind of put that in one category. Am I wrong too? Tell me what, that's the one to me, they're similar. Like if you want to alter your gender however you want, go ahead. If you want to go neutral or to one edge, it's up to you. If you want to tattoo, if you want to chop off your ears and grow horns, up to you. So the category abbreviated as SCA, SCAT, actually scat body, wait, wow, this is great. Scats with an S, because after the T, it would be S for self-harm, right? No, seriously, where am I missing here? This is what I'm doing the show for. So what am I missing? What else falls under body autonomy? We're going to get into kid and adult body autonomy too, because they're different. There's a reason. I'll bring some scenarios, but please help me here. What else is there? I can't think of any more. Those are the ones, all in one law. Now, you could argue, I remember the reason why Roe v. Wade got scrapped is because there's no body autonomy law. We don't have one, and I don't think we're going to get one. And you'll see why in a second. Because that scat list, I'm going to call it the scat list. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Well, there it is. Charlemagne with his good one here. Look at this. The problem is that body autonomy, like any other right, is not absolute. It is always subject to the common good of society. The problem with that is the word common good. Because, again, I don't believe in common good. I mean, it might be common good for certain people, but not for others. That's it. Haircuts are body autonomy. Well, that goes under the trans, body mod, that's all of that. Shaking hands. Okay. Body autonomy, the right to not be touched. Ooh, that might be its own category. Yes. Bill M. Common good. Thank you, Bill M. Cheers on that. It's true. That's my problem with common good. This is why, as soon as I hear common good, I'm like, common to whom? This was the problem with the shot. Some people are like, yo, I'm allergic, and you're still forcing me to, like I got to go through hoops, or like the people that already were sick, and we're like, yo, I had it already. What do I have to do that again? Right? It might be bad for them. I knew people that, they couldn't get it because it could have been potentially dangerous, but, Yeah. Okay. So maybe touching people could be its own subject. You know, the right to not be touched. How about the right? Yeah, but suicide I don't look at as self-harm. Here's why. Oh, I keep using the S word. I'm trying to not use it so I don't get flagged. The S word, oh, I know you are, Ruth. I am not. It's a for-profit business that makes billions, and we're the only country that allows TV advertisement. Yeah. You have to trust scientists, not science. That's how I look at it. That's my beef with all of the medical stuff. You have to trust scientists who are all paid by pharmaceutical companies, just like Exxon hires. We're not going to get into a vaccine debate, although I think I'm pretty good at it. But anyway, am I frozen? Hello, am I moving? Tell me.
Yeah, you just.
So what do I do? Go get the cord. Run it over. Hold on. Is it still frozen? Hold on. Are we still frozen?
No, I see it.
Ah, good. Excellent. So, okay. So let's think here. Is there any other body autonomies here we're missing? Let me think. I really am trying to think about this. So we have the S word, circumcision. Oh, okay. So let's go through them one at a time. Circumcision. Let's start with that. Thoughts? I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go away. Imagine telling the Jewish lobby of New York City that they're going to ban circumcision in New York City. That's not happening. They will kill the council member before that happens. That's just not going to happen. I mean, fluoride in the water. Excellent, but I will put that under medicine. But yeah. Yeah, I don't ask for it. I don't want it either. Why don't they put vitamin D in our water? Most of us need that. It's really weird. So, yeah, it's not going away. It's unbelievable. It's literally genital mutilation for children. And if you look at the Orthodox way of doing it, it's really barbaric with the spitting and it's like, I can't even believe it's illegal. Here's how I look at it. My personal view is that it's not good. But again, we're getting into value judgments where I get that some people do value some crazy things that I will deem wrong. If they're over there doing it and they're not yelling at me, this is where my morals, I'll aesthetic choice. So I've met people that have done it to their kids so their kids don't feel left out. When their son's in the locker room, that he doesn't look different. But unfortunately, the guy I know that did it to his son, all the other kids didn't. So his kid was actually the odd man out. No joke. Yeah, most people I know don't, unless they're religious or not rule followers, but people that just fit in. I have a lot of family members that did it to their kids. They're taught to fit in. That's how people are taught. I don't hold it against them anymore. Do I think it's dumb? Yeah, I do. But most people want to fit in. We'll get to abortion. Hold on. Yeah, we'll get to it. So cleanliness? Yeah, well, that's the argument. And I've seen rabbis argue that was the real reason. That is not the real reason. I've done some deep dives on the actual... It's to desensitize. In the Muslim story of it, Abraham was in his 80s, did it to himself with an axe. God was like, you have to do this. And he did it with an axe to himself. So it's not about clean. It's about joining the gang. So, Yeah, Charlemagne, the whole distinct human life, again, is it alive? Yes. Again, it's all debatable of when it actually, that's all. It is debatable. So let's keep going. So circumcision is one of those ones. How can you do a body autonomy law in America if they're never going to get rid of that one? It's not happening. Here's a question. Is it a moneymaker for the pharmaceutical industry? Not really. It's a moneymaker for the moil, but that's it. So it's not like a big business. It's either true or not. Well, it's a matter of opinion if it's valued. That's what's a matter of opinion, Charlemagne. We could all agree that a baby's a human life, but one person might say it's trash. And that's actually in where I come from. They can say that, and maybe they do believe it. So I don't think babies are trash, but they might. It's all, again, that is opinion. Distinct human life. I don't know what distinct. It's a human life. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's distinct. I don't think we're where I look at it, we're just a little smarter than the apes. Not a lot, but a little. So let's move on from the circumcision. Let's go to the S word. Now, in Abrahamic tradition, to take your own life is a sin because we didn't create it. It's not ours to take. So, yeah. Oh, someone's asking about if it's a dog embryo, if it has the same value. I'm curious. Again, we don't need to debate these subjects tonight. I mean, we can a bit and talk about them, but it doesn't have anything to do with debating the subjects, whether it's right or wrong. It's body autonomy, okay? That's how I'm looking at this. And whether or not each one of these society can step in and say, hey, right? So, the S word to me is a dignity issue. If I'm in physical pain or I'm a burden in some way, shape, or form, I should have the right to take myself out. Right? I mean, I can't even, I don't know what to say. I mean, well, if everything's a matter of opinion, we shouldn't have any laws at all. Well, no, maybe less. I mean, that's where I lean to. I'm okay with a world that's kind of lawless and wild. I'm that type. I'll either do okay or I won't. I'm that guy. That's why a lot of people don't like me, maybe, is I'm okay with that. Serena, what's up, Serena? What came to mind? Maybe self-pleasure is the opposite of self-mutilation. Yeah. Doesn't it change but it doesn't change the look of your physical body. Well, self-pleasure, I guess, is body autonomy. Yeah, I guess that fits in that too. I don't know. You're waiting for the purge. That happens. Some people will do better than others, right? So yeah, the S word for me is a big one. I think it should be legal. I think there should be a medical version that you can do. I think we should talk about it more. I once saw the guitar player from laws need to be unbiased from a religious standpoint. I don't think they can be. A lot of them. Some of them are. That's another thing. Like when someone's religious and they hold office, how do they take their values out of their job? They can't. I don't see how that's even possible. I know. Well, Sweden, yes, there's certain countries that have a legal, like, hey, you're suffering, we'll help you. But beyond that, I think as a society, we look down on it because of the Abrahamic influence. I once saw a video. It's the family of the guitar player of Devil's Blood, one of my favorite bands. And he committed suicide, and it's his sister, the lead singer of the band, and his mother, and they were interviewing them, and they were like, you know, what did this do to your family? And they were like, yeah, we're okay with it. We're glad that he was able to take himself out because he's been talking about it his whole life. He wanted to do that his whole life. He was not fit for this world or whatever, and he really wanted to do that, and he did it. And for us to get upset over it kind of doesn't honor his wishes. So it's okay. When I heard that, I was like, wow, that's an interesting way to look at it. Since then, I've done a lot of reading and research, a lot of reading the Stoics. Seneca talked a lot about the S word. I have a completely different look at it. I get it. When I read people's S letters, Wendy O. Williams, when I first read them, I had that gut-wrenching sadness. Now when I read them, I have a completely different feel. I have a different look at the energy surrounding it. So, what's this, dogs? Here we go. Some people think that the earth is flat. That doesn't mean there's no objective truth. Yeah, but it's the value that people are debating in here, Charlemagne. It's the value of such. We can all say that a baby is alive, right? No, but I'll end it right now. I see what's going on here. Everybody's arguing different things. I see this all the time. People are arguing two different things. The argument is whether or not the value is subjective, and it is, clearly. Is it alive? Yes, of course it's alive. That we don't... If you say, is the baby alive? Yes. Is it special? Well, that's the debatable part. No, it's not special. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Yeah, values are definitely debatable. Objective fact, different. Although objective fact can be debatable because for me, fact isn't truth. If you watch the show, you'll hear me say it. Scientists can write something in a journal. It doesn't mean it's true. It's a fact, but it's not true. Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind it. You can bounce around a bit. But am I crazy? This is what the argument is. It's whether or not the value of it is special or not. That's all. Yeah. Right? Am I... Yeah. So Charlemagne, I think that's what the juggle is your claim, is that there's a claim whether or not someone values it or not. That's all it is. Some people don't value a baby before it's born. Some do. That's it. That's all it is. If I valued it as the same as a 4-year-old, I would say it's bad, but I don't, right? That's it. That's all it is. It's very simple. I don't know why it's such a crazy... Okay, whoa. But the logic expressed here, this is interesting. Body autonomy, right, is also a subjective value. Well, I don't know. That's what we're figuring out here. Subjective, me wanting body autonomy is not subjective. I want this. I want body autonomy. I want to be able to do whatever I want with my body, whether I hurt it or help it or refuse medical treatment or take medical treatment. That's, the government is making it objective, right? By saying it has to be A or B, right? Isn't that what it is? Here's one. Oh, so here's one. This is the good one. The trans rights debate. This is what I see. This is how I've been seeing this. If there's a body autonomy law that says you can do whatever you want, that actually helps the adult trans movement, but puts a little bit of a wrench in the engine for the kids movement. The kids debate is, if a child says they feel they're a different gender, then this care is actually preventing them from the S word. That's what the doctor will say. The question is, if a brain isn't developed, are they able to make decisions and say things about themselves that's accurate? An 8-year-old wants a tattoo, right? An 8-year-old feels a certain way, right? There's the debate. The adult one, no debate. The kid one, debate. And so, where do we let people decide what to do with their body? Traditionally, it was 18, but they keep moving it older. Now it's 21 to drink, 21 to smoke, which is weird that they keep making it older. I love this. Bill, the only thing in life that can be truly 100% proven are math formulas. Everything else is descending probabilities of a likelihood. Pretty much. Here to that. Math is the only God. And I've heard people that took DMT when they finally saw God, they were disappointed because it was math. I've met people that have seen that. So no, keep going here. So an adult that wants to modify their body, yes, they should be, that's under a body autonomy law. Yeah, of course. A little kid wanting to do it, my personal thing is it's probably not good until they're an adult. Unless we have really good doctors that are able to understand some crazy details of the mind and the chromosomes and whatnot. Maybe there's a very rare situations. But it seems like, again, that business makes money. Anything that you have to get put on that lasts your whole life, that's a moneymaker. Yes, that's how I look at it, Ruth, too. It's just kids' decision-making we can't trust. Doctors recommending it, I don't trust. That's my one. I'm like, look, I saw a number that if a little kid starts right now today on hormone therapy or whatever it is, by the time they're an adult, they're worth about $1.3 million in medical care. That's a lot. It's a $2.1 billion industry. So some of these things make money. I was looking at which things here make money. The S word doesn't make money yet. It might. Circumcision, I don't think makes a lot of money. Abortion, look this up. Go, when you're done, look up abortion, how much money the abortion business makes, and you won't find the number. You'll find how much money the government gives Planned Parenthood, but you won't find how much the pharmaceutical industry makes off of it. If somebody can find it, send it to me. I was trying to find it. Like, how much cash does it make? It must not make enough cash, because if it did, they might lobby to make it. Well, I don't know. We have to look. So the biggest one that makes money is just the pharmaceutical industry. And that's why the drug one, forced drug. The Pfizer made $1 billion they made like $14 billion on the first vaccine from the government. That's just Pfizer, not all the other ones. 14. And it didn't work. It didn't stop it. They don't even know. And they know that all the execs took a different one. The one that they took isn't the one they gave the public, which is weird. So, wow. You were almost 30? That's great. I like that. Well, again, nothing's objective. This is why we have to debate stuff. I don't think anything's objective anymore. It's all out the door. Show me one thing here that's objective. I mean, I don't know. It's getting to be blurry. I think all decisions are kind of meaningless, dude. Actually, at the end of the day. They're just to make yourself feel like you've done something. Wait, let's keep going here, because this is still... All right, so... Trans rights, body mod. Let's go to the drug one. The government says that it's for the betterment of mankind that you need to do certain things, like take a medicine. Now, my problem with that, my problem with all of that, our laws in America, it seems, are designed so that if the leader's a bad guy, the First Amendment lets us talk about it, and the Second Amendment lets us defend ourselves from it or get rid of him. That's kind of what it was. It was like our laws were made assuming the leaders aren't good. The rest of the world doesn't work that way. Japan, for instance. I mean, up until recently, their emperor was a god. So obviously, he's a, quote, good guy, right? In Japan, the cops can kind of search your pockets whenever they want. They can also come in your house, basically, whenever they want. That is deemed as okay because it's assumed that the cops are good guys. Well, we don't do that here. We assume they're bad guys. And so when the government's able to mandate a drug, that's assuming the government's making smart, good guy, what we'll say good guy decisions, right? Well, I don't always assume that. I can't assume that. How could I? Look, just for a short history of what the government's done with drugs and people and experiments, and very short, the track record's not good. Add on top of it the for-profit business stuff, and now I'm out. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. There's too many wrenches in this engine. Way too many. There's not just one. There's way too many. So that's why as soon as something's mandated, it seems like there's too much room for error. Yeah, well, the opioid thing, again, if anybody doesn't know about the details, this is where lack of trust comes in. Here we go. Excellent. I agree. I don't, if I don't want to take something. Okay, the current estimates are, how many units? Is that 15 million units? $46 per dose. 690 million? Wow. Okay, so there's money. Okay. Well, the flu shot, I still don't understand. I remember like 25 years ago, the flu shot. Want to get the flu shot? No. Want to get the flu shot? No. Flu. Everywhere I'd go, they'd have free flu shots. And I'm like, what? I mean, I get the flu once every other year maybe, but what? What do I want to do that for? I don't need it. I thought you're supposed to get it once in a while. I never understood it. And I used to joke, one day they're going to force us to get the flu shot. We're going to somehow get that. They're going to rope that in there. And by God, when COVID happened, it was kind of that, but they started tagging it on with the flu shot now. It's like, oh, get them both. I'm like, get both? What? Huh? What? I don't know. I just... we're the only country besides New Zealand that lets the pharmaceutical industries advertise on television. The rest of the world sees it as a really big conflict of interest. My way of describing the pharmaceutical business in America with the news is this. Hi, CBS News. Yeah. How many commercials do you have in your spot? 10. Okay, great. How much are they? They're $1,000 each. Great. We're going to buy all 10, but I'm going to give you $100,000 for each. Huh? Oh, okay, great. Okay. That's what's going on here, folks. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I can't. It's really weird. They are able to do some, like, a lot of the drugs they advertise on TV, no one even needs to know about. So why are they making a commercial for it? You don't even need to know about it. Your doctors should know about all the new drugs coming out. And when you come in, he can go, hey, there's this new thing that might help your ailment. He's the guy that needs to know, not the TV. What do I need to know for? I don't even know what it is. But they're advertising nonstop on the news. Not on your cartoons, on the news. The people that read news. So you're telling me if something bad comes out, they're going to read it on the news when all the main sponsors that pay for the news? It doesn't work that way. I don't think people realize how lobbying works. If you hang out with con artists, you understand how lobbying works. Everybody's getting lobbied. They're getting hotels, the vacation, the thing, the tabs, the. It's so much that you don't notice it. Yeah, I don't even know. Who cares if it's COVID or not at this point? I can't even believe that it's even discussed. I might even have it now. Everybody's sneezing. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I ask you, would you rather live shorter lives and take no shots, or extend your life and be on 10 different pharmaceutical mandated kind of shots? Is that the world we're going to live in? Like, everybody's going to be so sensitive that you're going to need a certain cocktail to get through? Well, it doesn't matter if there's long-term effects. It was a man-made virus that spread all over the world, and everybody basically caught it. Everybody. I don't know one person that hasn't caught it yet. And even the people that didn't catch it probably caught it and didn't have any symptoms. So we're all going to have long-term effects. That's it. So we should be bombing China and the people that wrote the checks for this stuff, right? That's what, I mean, if that's really what happened, if they basically screwed us all up forever now, I don't know. Over a new medication. God, there's so many in here. I can't even read this fast. Nothing's free. Really, I can't, it just seems like this list of body autonomy, we're never, oh, here's one. Obama promised to codify Roe v. Wade. Why didn't he? Who stopped him? First of all, I don't think Obama was a real president. I think he was groomed, like all of them, basically. They found him early. They start hey, he's following the rules. He looks good, sounds good, does what he's told. I mean, I'll tell you now, Joe Biden is the greatest president we've ever had because he does exactly what he's told. Just like Obama. They all do what they're told. So those guys that do what they're told, Obama promised to codify Roe v. Wade. I remember hearing him talk about it in his stump speeches that he was doing before he ran. And I remember being shocked that it wasn't. Like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. And then he didn't do it. So if anybody's mad that they got rid of Roe v. Wade, why aren't they beating down Obama's door? He's the one that could have saved it, and he didn't. None of them did. So who stopped them? Who said, shut up? Who stopped them? Who stopped them? I'll tell you who. The pharmaceutical companies. They're running the show. Look at the Sackler stuff. They lobbied the government to get all these things through. It's just so bad. That's why I can't believe people trust any. I mean, even a little bit of trust. I am the skeptic, okay? I'm trying to think of what would take me not to be a skeptic on that one. I can't see it. It'd be very hard to convince me otherwise. But I'm pro S-word. That is something. I think circumcision should be illegal for babies. I think what they should do is make it illegal, and if you're Jewish, when you get to a certain age in America, you can do it. Or you can go to another country and do it. Come back. If you're Jewish and you want to circumcise your kid, you got to leave the country, go somewhere else where it's legal, and then come back. It just seems like it's weird. Trans rights, yes. If you're an adult, go for it. If you're a kid, that's the one I don't know. I'm sure there's a few kids out there that it might help, but it's super rare. Super duper 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 rare, right? That's what it seems like. So, again, let's keep the pharmaceutical companies away from the kids and let the doctors and the scientists be the ones calling the shots and working on this, and let the money, the for-profit people, they got to go away. Look, I'm for profit. I'm pro for profit, but there's just certain things that seem so corruptible quick that it's just not good. Body modification, clearly I'm for that. And self-harm, yes. If somebody wants to harm themselves, please feel free. If you want to stick your hand in the stove once a month, if that does something to you, well, the Jewish people want to do it, that's fine. It's just funny that no one, if you mention the girl version, people look at you like you're barbaric. But if you mention the boy version, they don't. That's weird. That's very weird. That's where Hitchens would point at religion poisoning everything. That's where he'd go, look, it's poisoned this. Here's a subject people can't see. They don't even notice it. Well, natural selection's very real. I would say that is very objective. But yeah, what if a Muslim group wants to start cutting off little girls' clitorises? They would make that illegal. So why do they get away with it? Because it's written in the Torah? It's ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. It makes no sense. Yeah, I am pro body autonomy. Like, very much so. But back to the abortion thing. Really, let's whittle it down. Let's do what we do good on this show. Break it down into its rawest form, which is what I do with all arguments. What are we really arguing here? And I think really, oh yes. Rabbis have given many babies herpes. I've seen. There was one rabbi that was really bad, upstate. Yes, it's not good. That I can't believe is legal. That version of it, the one with the mouth, crazy. But back to abortion. If you whittle it down to its rawest form, what are we arguing? And we're arguing on the value of a baby before it's born. Some people will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you can have an abortion up until almost 9 months. And whatever it is, that's the actual argument. We all will say, of course, human life is inside. It's a little thing. It's got arms and legs and hearts. You know, it's there, but I don't value it the same. I'm not saying I don't value it right now, but I'm saying in that world, if that baby would die, yes, that's sad, but it hasn't been, it's still in the building blocks era. It hasn't been built, is the argument. You know, is it complete? No. I guess you could argue, well, is an 8-year-old complete? No, but he's out and he's part of society. He's moving around. Yeah, the non-painful version, sure, that would be great. I'm sure everybody would vote for, like, say yes to that. I mean, it's just, yeah, of course, right? I don't like abortion. I think it's terrible, but it has to happen. I mean, it has to be an option for a myriad of reasons, not just a personal choice. There's other reasons. There's health reasons, and there's crime stuff and inbred stuff and chromosome. If somebody has a baby and they know it's, like, if you told me I was maybe going to have a kid with Down syndrome, I might have the baby. I might have the baby and take care of him. I might not, if he's gonna, I don't know. It's one of those things. I'm the type that might say, yeah, go for it, and let the kid, you know, I'll deal with him and raise him to be a great human being too. I mean, but has there ever been a situation where I could think where I might have said yes to an abortion? Of course. Yeah. Many situations. So I'm pro-choice, 100%. Well, there you go. So yes, you could argue, you know, the people that don't abort the kids, yes, it costs money. Um, that's one of the arguments. Yeah, there's no, you know, yes, I would agree with you on that, Ruth. Late term abortions. Yeah, if you waited too long, that's your fault. Right? That's how I would look at it. You can't, you know, there has to be a rule for that. Yep. Yes, if you don't want a child, that's right, 100% personal. You should be allowed to engage in sexual practices without the birth thing. Yeah. Um, ooh, what's this? What's this, Bill? There's necessarily a lot of mental gymnastics that come with using body autonomy on either side of the abortion debate. Yeah, right. No, there is, I would say. Right. Okay. Oh, here we go. Charlemagne says, would body autonomy trump the right to life? Meaning the baby eventually gets to have body autonomy. And we're taking that from him. Right. But I would say it's after you're born. And tastefully, we'll give a few months before you're born to not do it. And that's out of good taste. Right, it does. You're right. A body autonomy argument ignores the body autonomy of the fetus. A pro-life argument ignores of the mother. Right. Now, one of those two is living, breathing, paying bills, making phone calls. It's the mother. So she comes first. That's how I look at it. Right? And I'm sure you would agree, Ruth. Oh, yeah, it's not a baby. Oh, you're saying the fetus isn't a baby. Well, that's debatable. It's a baby before it's born. But these are just... But these are all words. We could change the word gabooble. As soon as there's a gabooble, it's a gabooble. And there's an early gabooble and a late gabooble. There's no difference. That I don't like that argument. That's silly. That's words. These are semantics. Now I'm going with the Charlemagne argument. Geographical location would matter for... I love it, Jason. Birth control for men, and this issue dies. Yeah, it's true. You know, you'd think there'd be a little more research on male birth control. A little bit. Wouldn't men... I know that you could say that the men who are doing the research don't want to... But wouldn't it be easier to do it on yourself than even have to worry about the other person, right? So scientists, if they're men, would want to work on it. It's a clump of cells from conception to death. It's all a matter of size. Well, not size, but maybe the data processor. You know, the brain function, the awareness. Okay, thank you, Ruth, very much. It's a good subject. I mean, please continue the subject and get back to me. Really, I'm curious. Like, this is it. It's body autonomy. No one, you know, I think these are all... It's so funny when I remember listening to, like, the protests. I remember being like, whoa, they're literally yelling the same thing. I remember seeing a conservative guy go to an abortion rally, and when they were doing My Body, My Choice, he went, yes, I agree. And what do you think about the shot? And they would be like, oh, I don't know. Most people didn't have an answer. Yeah, it is a good subject. Please continue the discussion. I think this is how we solve problems. Geographical location, Charlemagne, referring to what? Because geographical locations actually do change completely meanings to these things. Yeah. Different cultures have completely different values on all of these subjects. If you go to Asia, suicide isn't seen from the Abrahamic view. Totally different. Same with circumcision. Trans rights, again, yes. Each culture has a different view on these things. So I find these to be... Ah, yes, yes. It is subjective. If you're born in one country, they'll view it this way. If you're born in another country, they'll view it this way. Unfortunately, seems subjective. I think Bill's right. It all comes down to math. And value of what it is. Do you value it before? If we valued babies, the fetus, the same as we value a 2-year-old, we wouldn't have abortion. Just because it is in a womb, would that... I guess it does matter. It matters on the value of that thing having rights. Right? So by letting abortion legal, not illegal, legal, we are saying that fetus doesn't have rights yet. Yes, that's what it means. We're taking away its rights. Now, it didn't ask to be born, nor did it ask to die, right? It's just... But it is right because it's viewed as such en masse. Wait, Lorcan, refine that right there. But it is right, in quotes, because it is viewed as such en masse. Believe me, I've thought about what you're saying. It could be used for that. Yes. I understand, yeah. Yeah, Charlemagne says, my argument can be used to justify infanticide, which would mean, like, it's my child, I'm a parent, it's my right to take him out. Yes, unless we say that as soon as you're born, you are now subject to that rule of body autonomy, up until a certain point. Hold on a second here. Yeah. Well, no. Well, okay. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. It says, I'm saying, does it make it right because certain cultures view it that way because they were taught? Well, again, right and wrong is subjective, all of it. This is what we're debating right now. This is what the talk is. It's all subjective. Murder is subjective, right? Under certain situations, they go, well, that ain't murder, even though you're still killing somebody, right? The infanticide one I don't get, because if a little kid's running around, we grant them body autonomy, meaning they have their own rights as a human. We don't let them make decisions necessarily on their own doings because they're not developed yet, but we're not allowed to hurt them. You know, that's kind of how it is. Ooh, I didn't include corporal punishment. That's actually different. Here we go. Great one, Neo logic. Interesting logic. In the womb, the mother has to care. In the womb, the mother has to care for it. Outside the womb, the mother has to care for it. But the method of care changes from passive to active. Oh, right. Your body just does it because it's still hooked up to a system to grow, right? Yeah, it's not free moving. It's not separate. So that's where that's the difference. That's a good one. I like that. That's interesting. Never thought of it that way. Pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, certain cultures teach all sorts of things that we would never even think of. So, wow, okay. I'm still tripping on this passive to active care. Yeah, a mother doesn't have to do a darn thing when it's in the belly, except, I guess, stay sort of healthy. But even then, it doesn't matter. Interesting. How about corporal punishment? Whether or not you're allowed to spank your kids. I'm going to put that one down. That's a new one. That's different. Body autonomy. Are you allowed to hit your kids? Corporal punishment. When I was a little kid, public schools still used paddling. And they didn't... Bill Yawn. Did you ever have Mr. Stauffer at Roosevelt? No, you went to Keith. No, wait. My mind's a blur. Did you see paddling in middle school? I did. I never was paddled, but I remember. I have a funny story. Whoa. Hold on. If morality is subjective, then body autonomy is subjective as well. No, how could that be? I want to be in charge of my own body. That's all it means. So what's subjective about that? The reasons for it are maybe subjective, just like everything. But yeah, exactly. But me wanting body autonomy is not subjective. It's very objective, actually. I want that. That's a real value I want. Yeah, everything is subjective. Morality is subjective. Show me one piece of morality that's not subjective. I can't think of any. Yeah, I don't know. Keep them coming. This is a good episode. I love it. This is my favorite kind. Juicy. Did you ever notice the ping pong ball, the widget in the can? It's for the nitrogen. The more this Bill guy says, the more I like him. Bill, do you remember people getting paddled in middle school? Yeah. Well, spanking to me, or a little ha-ha to your child, the reasoning is, and I remember one time, your kids have to be a little afraid of you for emergencies. That's it. I remember my son running towards traffic. He was little. And I remember being like, stop! And he was like, whew. Like he knew I was going to kill him if he didn't stop. And I remember him stopping. And I always thought that is the part that you did see paddling. Okay, so I remember Mr. Stauffer taking me out in the hall to paddle me and then being like, all right, go in and act like I paddled you. Because he didn't want to do it because he'd have to get a witness. He had to get another teacher to like watch. But I was in 9th grade when they stopped, like halfway through. That's not that long ago. I think hitting kids, well, okay. Okay, so to me, the hitting a kid, there's different versions. There's the formal, where if you do something bad, I'm going to inflict pain later. That's the one I don't think is as useful as in the instant one. Like, for instance, if somebody does something and you whack their hand and they're like, ugh. To me, that's the one that, like, paddle nuns. Yeah. Well, they are. Yeah, dogs, training a dog, I remember learning the choker chain technique. And they were like, when a dog does something wrong, the easiest way to train him is with the choker chain because it doesn't hurt him, but it makes them lose their air. So they're like, blah, 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 blah. They're doing a behavior that's wrong, and all of a sudden, they can't breathe. And then they breathe. So they do something wrong, and so they start to know, oh, if I do something bad, I'm not going to be able to breathe for a second. It's the safe way of doing the training. I don't know if that's true or not. I remember learning that. Dragging them to the office. Yeah, I remember that. But I don't know. I think certain types of kids might respond to a little... I didn't hit my kids. I might have smacked them in the arm. You know, one of those kind of... Or a nice slap in the arm. My dad used to do punches to the arm. I remember like him driving and he'd hit me, ow, in the yeah, there's a time and a place for a communication. Yes, that is very true. Charlemagne, the Catholic schools in like the 50s and 60s were supposedly really bad. Choker chains for kids. Okay? You're breathing? Okay, cool. Wow. No, seriously, I remember I took a dog training class, and I remember them explaining that. That if you take the air away, it's the safe and easiest. You don't do it hard. You pull the chain. They can't breathe. It makes them go, all right, I guess I'm done now, and then they breathe. I don't know if that's good or not. I'm not an expert on dogs. I did raise my kids. I realized I could reason with them mostly. But yeah, I leave that to the parents. Because some kids, look, we're assuming all kids are smart and responsive to dialogue. Not all kids are. And they might need a little, I don't know. As they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. Yeah, that's the Bible justification. I fake hit my youngest just to see if get the dog riled up. Well, that's it. A lot of parents beat their kids because they're mad. Yeah, well, that's insane. Those are the kids that grow up abusive to other people. What is it? Hurt people hurt people. Yeah, if somebody feels like they're being hurt for the wrong reasons, it doesn't do anything except cause scars and mental damage and borderline personality and all these ailments that come later, personality issues. Wow, this was a meaty subject, folks. All right, I'm done. I can barely breathe. Wow. Thank you. That was a lot. But I think everybody in here raised points that we were able to chew on and see some things in different ways. I think a lot of it comes down to, again, values. What do you value? What's valuable? And once you realize what you value, you better quickly look at where you got the value. Because that's what I learned. This is what all the Nietzsche books are about. The genealogy of our morals and values and where they all come from. They mean something. But the parents are mad because their child is doing wrong. Yeah? Thank you, Jason. It's a good topic because no one's talking about it like this. I really think this is what it is. It's body autonomy. Do you value it? Do you not value it? Do you think that it's important for your body to be left alone and no one gets to say it? Will to power all the way. Will to power. Once I noticed what will to power was, I couldn't stop seeing it. It's kind of hard to unsee it. Everything's trying to expand. The circumcision people are trying to expand. The S-word people tried to expand. Dr. Kevorkian, they shut him down. We didn't solve anything because what is there to... is it even solvable? Is it even solvable? I think what we're able to do is not solve anything, but this is it. What we did accomplish something. We did, 100%. We didn't solve it because it's not a puzzle to solve. You can't. But we learn how to talk to each other and ask questions and go down this rabbit hole and go down this rabbit hole. And I like each and every one of you out there. I feel like Mr. Rogers. But I do. I value dissenting opinions. I have friends that are religious Christians, religious Jews. I have friends that are atheists and Satanists and Wiccans. I have friends from all walks of life. And I think we can have different discourses with different values. There is some that we can't agree on. And, it's a lot of like, hey, I don't like you. I'm not going to hurt you, but you got to go over there. You got to go over there. You got to take your party over there. Because your party now is expanding into my party, and I don't like it. That's how we have to learn. Getting wheels turning on every side. Thank you. Bill, thank you for stepping in, too. I mean, really, this is a heavy subject. These are the issues that made people into enemies. Enemies. I watched during the COOF meaning the COOF years, the COOF, another code word. I watched people go from like normal to I'm gonna call the cops on you, like that. Really terrible. Like, oh my gosh. Same with the abortion stuff. I've seen that go from, you know. So, listen, I'm trying to raise discussions. Charlemagne, cheers. Thank you. I mean, you raised good points. I think the disagreement in the top was, again, it's that value of what it's like before. You were? I love it. I try to keep it interesting. I want these subjects to be healthy, discussable subjects. And on that note, let me see here. Before I go, let's just do a quick, please hit the like and subscribe. By golly, if you like to donate, there that is. You don't have to, please. The least you can do is hit like and subscribe. And the notifications. I'm going to play the outro. And then maybe something fun after. But I really do thank each and every one of you. This was episode 152. I don't know if I'm in here next week. I'm not sure if I'm here next Monday. I might be, but I might not be. One of these Mondays, either this week or next week, I think I'm going to go in the woods and go camping. So I don't know yet. But other than that, thank you. Party on.
Dragon's Lair, the fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight on a quest to rescue the fair princess from the clutches of an evil dragon. You control the actions of a daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has infested it with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious caverns below the castle, your odyssey continues against the awesome forces that oppose your efforts to reach the Dragon's Lair. Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.